All right, let's just jump right in. Every once in a while, a single piece of tech comes along that doesn't just change an industry, it flips the whole table over. And according to the source we're digging into today, that moment just happened for the entire world of retail, and it was delivered by OpenAI.
And that's literally the first reaction from the author we're covering. Holy crap! That's it. Just two words, but man, they say everything about the sheer shock of what was just announced. A feature that could totally rewrite how every single one of us buys things online.
And then they follow it up with this. The retail game didn't just change, it got nuked. I mean, you can't get much more dramatic than that, right? They're not talking about a little course correction here. This is an extinction-level event for e-commerce as we know it. So what is this thing? What's this retail nuke they're talking about?
Well, it all boils down to something the author calls the everything button. It's this one feature, rolled out pretty quietly, but wow, the ripple effects are just huge. Okay, so here's the core idea. Forget going to a website to shop. Now you just talk to an AI, you tell it what you want, and it does the rest. It finds it, it compares it, it buys it for you, all right there inside the conversation.
Just think about how you shop online right now. It's a chore, isn't it? You go to a site like Amazon, you type something in, you have to scroll past all the sponsored junk and the sketchy reviews, then you fiddle with filters, open a dozen tabs to compare. It's click after click after click, so much friction. Now, compare all that hassle to this. The new way, you just ask, hey, find me some running shoes for overpronation size 11, keep it under $120. Boom, done. All that friction, just gone. And that is the heart of this whole disruption.
So, if how we shop completely changes, who gets hurt the most? Well, according to the author, the biggest names in the game, the ones who built the whole system we use now, they are suddenly in serious trouble.
And this really hits the nail on the head. I mean, think about it. Amazon built its kingdom on convenience, right? One-click checkout, Prime delivery, endless stuff to buy. But the argument here is that AI just makes that whole thing obsolete. Like, why would you bother navigating Amazon's website when an AI can do it all for you in 2 seconds? And not just search Amazon, but search every single store on the internet. And that's the wild irony here. Amazon, the king of frictionless shopping, suddenly is the friction. It becomes the slow, clumsy, old way to do things. And the same thing goes for a place like eBay. Their whole deal is searching for stuff, but that's kind of pointless when an AI can find absolutely anything from anywhere instantly. But this whole thing isn't just about tearing down the giants. There's a really cool twist in this story. The author says this massive shift actually creates a huge opening for a surprise winner, all the small, independent shops out there. See, the source makes a great point. OpenAI was smart. They didn't go it alone. They built integrations with platforms like Shopify. And what that does is create this brand new, super powerful partnership. The AI is the one that goes out and finds the customers, and then Shopify just handles all the back-end stuff, the inventory, the payments, the shipping. And this is a total game changer. For decades, if you were a small business, you had to pay this unofficial tax to Google and Amazon just to get noticed, right? Through ads, fees, whatever. Well, AI basically gets rid of that tax. All of a sudden, a tiny shop can get discovered because they have a great product, not because they have a giant advertising budget. And the shockwaves don't just stop at retail. The author argues that this is a direct existential threat to Google's cash cow. The most profitable thing they do, searching for products. I mean, think about it. Why would you Google best noise-canceling headphones, sift through a bunch of block spam reviews, and click on paid ads when you can just ask your AI for a personalized recommendation and buy it right then and there? That whole behavior pattern, poof, it could just vanish. And here's the real kicker for them. Their business models are completely opposite. Google makes money from the journey, from all the clicks you make while you're searching. But the AI model, it skips the journey. Its only goal is to finish the transaction. It's not trying to sell you ads. And the author's point is, that's a battle Google just can't win without basically destroying its own business model. Okay, so beyond just how easy it is to use, there's some cold, hard math here that, according to the author, makes this whole shift completely inevitable. Get a load of this number, 60 to 70%. In the old way of doing e-commerce, that's how much of a product's price can go toward just getting you, the customer, to buy it. We're talking ads, SEO, fees. It's an insanely expensive way to do business. Now let's look at the new AI model. The AI brings the customer right to the seller. The main cost? just the standard transaction fee, something like 2.9%. The difference is it's mind-blowing. And the author's point is brutally simple. You can't survive for long when it costs you 20 times more to get a customer than your competition.
So this new math creates a completely new playbook for retail. Your loyalty? It's not to Amazon anymore. It's to your AI. Those big e-commerce sites, they just become, well, dumb pipes for shipping stuff. And for the first time in a long time, brands have to compete on how good their product actually is, because you can't just throw money at ads to get to the top of the list anymore. So the big question is, how fast is this all going to happen? Well, the author doesn't think this is some far-off sci-fi future. Nope. They lay out a timeline that is incredibly fast and incredibly urgent.
Get this. In just 12 months, they predict that the early movers will shift 20 to 30% of their shopping to AI. Give it 2 years, and it's the normal way to shop for anyone under 40. And in 5 years, the whole idea of shopping on Amazon might sound as old-fashioned as looking something up in the yellow pages.
And when people ask, what's the ROI on making this change? The author's answer is just ice cold. The ROI is survival. This isn't about getting ahead of the competition. This is about not going extinct.
Which leaves every single business out there, from the tiny corner shop to the massive corporations, with one single terrifying question. This isn't a should we do this question anymore. The author is clear. The only question left is how do we do this? Because your customers are already walking out the door, headed for that new everything button.